A house is made of walls and beams. A home is built with love and dreams. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that. Never thought much about it until recently. Now I understand every word. My name's Walter, 89 years old. Been living in this house since 1981. Bought it with my wife Margaret for $87,000. Thought we were crazy spending that much. We raised 3 kids here, David, Thomas, and Susan. Margaret died 4 years ago. Heart just gave out one night while she was sleeping. Since then, it's been me and this old place. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, big backyard where the kids used to play. Every room's got a story. Every corner's got a memory. The crack in the kitchen tile from when David dropped a jar of pickles in 1989. The pencil marks on the hallway wall tracking how tall the kids got. Margaret's handwriting. Susan, age 7, 1992. And I'm not leaving this house, but my kids have other ideas. It started about 6 months back. Sunday dinner at my place, like we do every week. We're finishing dessert when David clears his throat. That's never a good sign. Dad, we've been talking about what? About you living here alone at your age. I put my fork down. What about it? Susan jumps in all gentle-like. We're just worried, Daddy. What if you fall? What if you have a medical emergency and nobody's here? I've got a phone. I've got neighbors. But wouldn't it be better, Thomas says, if you had people around all the time, professionals? What are you suggesting? David pulls out his phone, shows me a website. We've been looking at some senior communities, really nice ones. They've got everything. Activities, medical staff, restaurant-style dining. You mean a nursing home? No, Dad. Assisted living. It's completely different. Sounds the same to me. Just think about it, Susan says. We've already scheduled tours at 3 places. I stare at them. You scheduled tours without asking me. We wanted to see what was out there for when you're ready. I'm not ready. Dad, I said I'm not ready. We didn't talk much after that, but they didn't drop it. Every week, something new. Susan sends me brochures in the mail, glossy pictures of old people playing cards and smiling too much. Thomas calls to tell me about his co-worker's dad, who loves his new place. David keeps asking if I've thought any more about it, and every time I tell them the same thing. I'm fine where I am, but they're not listening. 3 weeks ago, I was taking a nap in the den. Woke up because I heard voices in the living room. David and Thomas talking low. I stayed quiet, just listened. He's not budging, Thomas said. I know, but we can't wait forever. He's 89. One bad fall and everything gets complicated. What do you mean? I mean the house, Tom. Do you have any idea what this place is worth now? Silence. I looked it up last week. Properties on this street are selling for over $1 million. I felt my chest tighten. Jesus, Thomas said. Really? Yeah. And if something happens to him, if the house just sits here empty while we deal with probate, we're talking months, maybe years. The market could change. The house could deteriorate. So, what are you saying? I'm saying we need to be realistic. We need to get him somewhere safe, and we need to start thinking about the estate. That word estate, not Dad, not his safety. Estate. I didn't sleep that night. Just sat in the kitchen staring at the walls. The walls Margaret and I painted in 1985. Pale yellow, her favorite color. I kept hearing David's voice. We need to start thinking about the estate. Next morning, I got on the computer, looked up my address on Zillow. Estimated value $1,240,000. I stared at that number for a long time. When we bought this place, $87,000 felt like a fortune. Now it's worth over $1 million, and my kids know it. Then I started researching assisted living. If I'm going to have this conversation, I need to know what I'm talking about. Turns out those nice places my kids keep talking about, they cost between $5,000 and $7,000 a month. That's $60,000 to $84,000 a year. I've got my pension, Social Security, about $200,000 in savings. If I moved into one of those places, my savings would be gone in 3 years. Or maybe 4. And then what happens? Medicaid, spend-down requirements, asset liquidation. They take everything Margaret and I worked for. I started wondering something else, too. Could they force me to sell? I'm 89, but my mind's sharp. I know what day it is. I can balance my checkbook. I take care of myself. But what if they tried to say I couldn't? What if they got a lawyer involved? I didn't know the answer. So I decided to ask someone who did. I found an estate planning attorney, a woman named Linda Chen. I called her office, made an appointment. We met the following Tuesday. I told her everything, the house, the kids, what I overheard. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "Mr. Walter, let me ask you something. Do you know what day it is?" "Tuesday, October 17th. Who's the president?" I told her. "Do you manage your own finances?" "Yeah. Pay my bills, handle my accounts." She nodded. "Then you're mentally competent. And as long as you are, nobody can sell your home without your permission. Not your children, not anyone, even if they have power of attorney. Power of attorney only applies if you're incapacitated. Right now, you're not. You're in complete control of your assets." I felt something loosen in my chest. But she continued, "You need to make sure your estate plan is current. When did you last update your will?" 1996, maybe 97. Then it's time. Laws change. Your assets have changed. We need to make sure everything reflects your wishes. What do I need to do? She pulled out a legal pad. First, we update your will. Second, we set up a revocable living trust. It'll help you avoid probate and give you more control. Third, and we make sure you have updated healthy care directives and power of attorney documents that you choose. And my house, your house is yours. You can live in it as long as you want. You can decide who gets it after you're gone. Nobody can touch it without your consent. I hired her on the spot. Over the next month we handled everything. Updated will, living trust, health care directive, financial power of attorney. I named Susan as my healthcare proxy. She's the calmest of the 3. I split my estate equally among the kids, fair and square. But I added one very clear instruction. The house remains mine until I die. No sale, no transfer, no exceptions. After I'm gone, they can sell it and split the proceeds. But not before, not while I'm still breathing. Once everything was signed and notarized, I felt different, stronger, like I'd taken back something I didn't realize I'd lost. Last Sunday, the kids came over for dinner. I made pot roast, Margaret's recipe. We ate. We talked about the grandkids, the weather, normal stuff. Then I said, "I need to tell you all something." They went quiet. "I know you've been worried about me, and I know you think I should move into one of those places." David started to speak. I held up my hand. "I'm not finished." He stopped. "I'm staying in this house. I'm not moving. Not now, not next year, not until I'm gone. Dad, I know what you're trying to do, and I've taken care of it. I pulled out copies of my updated will and trust documents. Everything's been updated. My estate's in order. You'll all be taken care of when I'm gone. Equally, fairly. I looked at each of them, but while I'm alive, this house is mine. And I'm staying in it. Susan's eyes filled up. We're sorry, Daddy. We didn't mean to. I know, but you need to understand. I'm 89. I'm not senile. I'm not incompetent. I can make my own decisions. Thomas nodded slowly. We hear you, Dad. David just looked down at his plate. That was 2 months ago. Things have been quieter since then. The kids still visit, still worry, but they've stopped pushing. And I'm still here in the house Margaret and I made a home. I'm 89 years old. I've buried my wife, raised my kids, paid off my mortgage. I've earned the right to live how I choose in my own home on my own terms. And nobody gets to take that from me. Not while I'm still here. If someone's trying to make decisions about your life without asking you first, don't let them. Get a lawyer. Update your estate plan. Protect what's yours. Because your home isn't just real estate. It's your independence, your dignity, your right to choose. And you don't lose that just because you turn 80. Thanks for listening. If this story meant something to you, subscribe.